Good evening, everyone. So, shall I start? Hello, hello. Okay. Good evening. This is Lakshmi Prasanna. Today, I'm going to provide you with some knowledge about artificial intelligence. Let's see what we are going to look into this webinar. We are going to look into definition of AI, history of AI, what AI can do, goals of AI, what comprises to AI, types of AI, Turing test, chatbots to attempt Turing test, Perceptron, neural networks, and finally applications of AI. So, definition of AI. We generally know that artificial intelligence is composed of two words. Artificial means man-made and intelligence means thinking power. So, AI combinedly means a man-made thinking power. In our computer terminology, we can say it as it's a branch of computer science by which we can create intelligent machines which can behave like a human, think like humans, and able to make decisions. So now let's look into history of AI. In the year 1943, the first work which is now recognized as AI was done by Warren M.C. Coolidge and Walter Pitts. They proposed a model of artificial neurons. So the term AI was coined by John M.C. Carthy at Dartmouth Conference. Like every technology has some golden years, same wise for the AI also there are some golden years. They are from 1956 to 1974. In the year 1966, Joseph Weizenbaum created the first chatbot in 1966, which was named as Eliza. And in the year 1972, the first intelligent humanoid robot was built in Japan, named as Wabot 1. So, what are the intelligent agents that are built? In the year 1997, IBM Deep Blue beats world chess champion Garry Kasparov and became the first computer to beat a world chess champion. And in the year 2002, for the first time, AI entered the home in the form of Roomba, a vacuum cleaner. There are many examples like this. but I have mentioned a few. So now what AI can do? With the help of AI, you can create such machines or softwares which can solve real world problems very easily and with accuracy, such as health issues, marketing, traffic issues, etc. And with the help of AI, you can even create your personal virtual assistants such as Cortana, Google Assistant, Siri, etc. So, you can build even such robots which can work in an environment where survival of humans can be at risk, like at the bomb blasting places or even at the Mars. So AI opens a path for other new technologies, devices, and new opportunities. Let's look into what are the goals of AI. The main goal of AI is replicate human intelligence, like how we perform with our intelligence in the same way machines perform with its own intelligence. They can solve knowledge intensive tasks like us. An intelligent connection of perception, and action. Perception means taking from the environment, and action means performing on the environment. Next, building a machine which can perform tasks that require human intelligence, such as proving a theorem, playing chess, plan some surgical operation, driving a car in traffic on its own. So these are the systems that we can build by using AI. So what comprises to AI? In AI, we use mathematics, biology, psychology, sociology, computer science, neuron study, and statistics. So AI comprises of all these things. Next, let's look into types of AI. Artificial intelligence can be divided in two various types. One is based on the capabilities, and type 2 is based on the functionalities. In the type 1, we are going to look into narrow AI, general AI, strong AI. In the type 2, we are going to look into reactive machines, limited memory, theory of mind, self awareness. Now let's look into based on capabilities type 1, narrow AI. Narrow AI is a type of AI which is able to perform a dedicated task with intelligence. It cannot perform beyond its limits. If it performs so, it will fail in doing that task. For example, Apple Siri, a good example of narrow AI, but it operates with a limited predefined range of functions. Hence, it is also termed as weak AI. Next, general AI. General AI is a type of intelligence which could perform any intellectual task with efficiency like a human. The idea behind the AI is to make such a system which could be smarter and think like a human by its own. Currently, there are no such system exist which could come under general AI and can perform any task as perfect as a human. Actually, we are using narrow AI nowadays. But these general AI and super AI are purely hypothetical concepts. They are not implemented now, but in future they may come. Next, super AI. Super AI is a level of intelligence of systems at which machines could surpass human intelligence and can perform any task better than human with cognitive properties. It's an outcome of general AI. Some key characteristics of strong AI include capability, the ability to think, to reason, solve the puzzle, make judgments, plan, learn, and communicate by its own. Super AI is still a hypothetical concept, like I said. Development of such systems in real is still world changing task. Next, based on functionalities. First thing is reactive machines. Purely reactive machines are the most basic types of artificial intelligence. Such AI systems do not store memories or past experiences for future actions. They only focus on current scenarios on and react on its as per best possible action. IBM's Deep Blue system is an example of reactive machines. Next is limited memory. Limited memory machines can store past experiences or some data for a short period of time. These machines can use stored data for a limited time period only. For example, let's look into self driving cars. They are best examples of limited memory systems. These cars can store recent speed of nearby cars, the distance of other cars, speed limit, and other information to navigate the road. Next is theory of mind. Theory of mind AI should understand the human emotions, people, beliefs, and be able to interact socially like humans. This type of AI machines are still not developed, but researchers are making lots of efforts and improvement for developing such AI systems. And the next is the self awareness. Self awareness AI is the future of artificial intelligence. These machines will be super intelligent and will be having their own consciousness, sentiments, and self awareness. These machines will be smarter than human mind. Self awareness AI does not exist in reality still, and it is a hypothetical concept. Now, let's look into the Turing test. In 1950, Alan Turing introduced a test to check whether a machine can think like a human or not. This test is known as Turing test. In this test, Turing proposed that the computer can be said to be an intelligent if it can mimic human response under specific conditions. Turing test was introduced by Turing in his 1950 paper Computing Machinery and Intelligence, which considered the question, can machine think? In this Turing test, it's based on a party game, like we call it as imitation game, with some modifications. This game involves three players, in which one player is computer, another player is human respondent, and the third player is a human interrogator who is isolated from other two players, and his job is to find that which player is machine among two of them. Here the computer can perform all the wrong answers or anything so that it can make the interrogator feel like it is a human. The questions and answers can be like, if the interrogator asks, are you a computer? The computer should respond as no. If the interrogator asks, multiply to large numbers as such, then a computer can take a long pause and give the wrong answer, because as a human we cannot perform that much long operation within some time, and it may not be accurate result also. So the machine can do anything to make uh, to cheat the interrogator. So what are the chatbots to attempt this Turing test? The first thing is Eliza. Eliza was a natural language processing computer program created by Joseph Weizenbaum. It was created to demonstrate the ability of communication between machine and humans. It was one of the first chatterbots which has attempted the Turing test. And the next was the Parry. Parry was a chatterbot created by Kenneth Cobley in 1972. Parry was designed to simulate a person with paranoid schizophrenia, most common chronic mental disorder. Simply, we can say that Parry was described as Eliza with attitude. Parry was tested using a variation of the Turing test in the early 1970s. And the next is Eugen Guzman. Eugen Guzman was a chatbot developed in St. Petersburg in 2001. This bot has completed in the various number of Turing tests. In June 2012, at an event, Guzman won the competition promoted as largest ever Turing test content, in which it has convinced 29% of judges that it was a human. Guzman resembled as a 13-year-old virtual boy. In AI, we are familiar with two terminologies, that is perceptron and neural networks. We'll know about perceptron. Perceptron is a neural network unit that does some computations to detect features or business intelligence in the input data. It was introduced by Frank Rosenblatt in 1957 based on MCP neuron. And the next thing are neural networks. This neural network consists of three layers: input layer, hidden layer, output layer. To perform any function, these three layers work coordinately. First, input layer. The input layer communicates with the external environment and presents a pattern to the neural network. The inputs get transferred to the hidden layers. In the hidden layers, all the processing will be done. Hidden layer is a collection of neurons on which activation function is applied. Its job is to process the inputs that come from its previous layer. This layer is responsible for extracting the required features from the data. And the next is the output layer. The output layer of the neural network collects and transmits the information accordingly in the way it has designed to give. For example, uh, let's take a real world example: face recognition system. Here, uh, our face is the input. Hidden layers extract all the features of your face, and output is a phone being locked or unlocked. Let's look into applications of AI. There are wide range of applications in astronomy. In astronomy, we use AI like to calculate the origin of Earth, and the rotation and everything. In the healthcare systems, in the gaming, in the finance, in the data security, because data is very huge and it should be handled very carefully. Like Instagram, Facebook, there are lots of accounts and we need to take care of every person's data. So here we use AI. And next, social media, travel and transport industry, automotive industry like Tesla bot, which is introduced in Tesla cars, robotics, entertainment, agriculture. In agriculture, we need more human labor. Uh, in that field, if you use AI, it can perform soil testing, weeds picking, and everything. Next, in the e-commerce, like providing recommendation systems, and in education. Thank you.